right, so let's keep moving forward in this. Now we're going to run our application without Expo. And the thing is that if you want to run it just like this, we cannot really do it. When you create an application just with Expo, Expo will will bring all the files and create all the logic for your application for using Expo. So you cannot run a native application on the simulator with Expo, like I told you before. Now you get a few choices, and let's assume that, for example, in the future you will start creating an application, and you're gonna say, oh, okay, I'm gonna use Expo because it's a simple application, so I can use Expo, and it's gonna make my life easier. Well, that's cute. That's okay. Now maybe later you're gonna say, oh, dude, I need to do more complex things. I just need to not use Expo. And maybe you did all your project on Expo and then you just need to change it. And the problem is that, you will need to change everything. Or you create a new project and migrate, everything you got. And that's not good. So they give you an eject way. So if you do npm run eject, this is gonna restructure all our application to not use Expo. Now, in my recommendation is that if you want to create an application and you have a feeling that you will need to create more complex things, just create the React application not with Expo from the start, from the get-go. Because sometimes the eject doesn't work it will not work that good. I tried it with a couple of projects a few weeks ago, and it just killed my project, and I had to migrate everything, and I couldn't fix it. Oh, of course I could fix it, but I needed to do manually. So again, Expo is really good if you know that your application is going to be a simple application. If you now know. So I'm going to do Expo eject and just see what happens. Expo eject, and of course it's going to take a minute. So then it's going to say, how would you like to eject your app? Now it's going to give you three options, and if you check the documentation, I couldn't find anything about this, and that's the first problem with Expo. The documentation is really good, but sometimes you're not finding what you want. So you get three options. Cancel, of course, and Expo kit, which is kind of a mix of both, or just a React Native, and it says I like a regular React Native project. So this is just React Native without Expo, which is what we want. So I'm going to press enter, and then it's going to say, what should the app appear? Well, if you press enter, it's going to use that Expo test we used previously. All right, how should your Android Studio and Xcode project be called? I'm going to pretty much do the same thing, Expo test. And okay, it's going to start pretty much changing your application. And notice it says removing node modules, and then it's going to install again. And notice that the structure of our application, it's kind of slowly changing. Now we have an Android directory and an iOS directory. Before this, we had no access to Android and iOS. And these are the files of your Android application, the native files. Gradle, we can see all the native files. Don't worry, we're going to go through this on the, with the course as you advance to the course. All right, so once you eject, you get what you wanted to. And notice that the package.json changes a little bit, and now we have different dependencies and different scripts. And we have start, and now we have Android, and now we have iOS. And notice that we can run iOS. And so these are the commands we can run if you want to run a simulation of our application with no Expo at all on the simulator. So I'm going to go to the simulator and just kill it, because we're going to do it right now in a couple seconds. Now, just remember that if you're a Mac user, you can run Android Studio, you can run an Android simulation in your computer, and you can run an iOS simulation in your computer. Only if you're a Mac user. If you're a Windows user, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot, it is impossible, at least until today, you cannot run an iOS simulator. So if you really want to build applications for your, for phones, you need to buy a Mac. sorry for that. I'm not a big fan of Mac. I still have my Windows and I regularly use it. But yeah, to do this, you just need a Mac. I spent a lot of money buying this Mac. I didn't really like it, but you know, it's working with Mac. It's a little bit easier when you're a developer. Okay, so we are pretty much done with this. On the next one, we're gonna run the simulations, and I'm not gonna use this project. We're gonna start a new project, not with Expo. We are not gonna start with Expo at all. We're gonna use the React Native commands directly. So let's go to the next section, and I'm gonna do Android first, because if you're a Mac or Windows user, you can enter that, and then I'm gonna do the iOS, which is only for Mac users. Let's go to the next one and start with this.